A lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over with.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else.
Boosie going to jail! Oh, God!
Boosie's been fighting demons for years, but this time, it looks like the walls are closing in. The feds are pressing hard, and his latest gun case flipped his whole world upside down. Word hit that he might be staring at a 10-year sentence, and right when that news broke, guess who popped out the shadows? Charleston White, the loudest troll in hip-hop. The second Boosie's case hit the blogs, Charleston was online dancing like it was Christmas morning. He was grinning, cracking jokes, and bragging that he'd been waiting for this day. That man said straight up he didn't care if Boosie ever made it out. Cold move, but that's Charleston. He feeds off chaos. Now here's where it gets wild. Boosie had already told fans he was tired of fighting and ready to take a plea.
Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
3 years.
He said he trusted God, but you could see the stress breaking him down. Remember, this same gun charge got dismissed back in 2023. Everyone thought Boosie was free to focus on music and family, but the feds circled back in 2024 and hit him again. This time, the pressure broke him, and Boosie finally said he was done wasting energy in court. Boosie went on X saying he felt like God don't make mistakes, and he was finally ready to accept whatever came next. You could feel the pain in every word. This wasn't just another post.
The feds picked it up.
Now, it was a state case. The feds came, picked it up. They had a ruling in the Supreme Court that went in my favor, and the case got dropped by the judge. The case got dropped.
Fans who've been rocking with him since the Baton Rouge days knew this hit different. Court cases, street beefs, health scares. Boosie's been dodging bullets, both real and legal. But 10 years? That's no small hit, and it crushed him hard. The Boosie we saw online wasn't the same fire-spitting one who used to clap back at everyone. He looked drained, tired, and almost broken. Fans filled his mentions with love and prayers, hoping he'd stay strong. Meanwhile, Charleston White was celebrating like it was New Year's Eve. He went live, grinning from ear to ear, bragging that he called it years ago, and saying he couldn't wait to watch Boosie fall. Then he crossed the line, straight up saying he hoped Boosie never made it home. That's cold, even for Charleston. But wild antics like that are exactly what keep his name trending. And here's the kicker. This beef didn't just pop up overnight. Charleston's been watching Boosie for years, waiting for him to slip. Their bad blood actually traces all the way back to 2022, right after Kanye West shook the culture with that wild White Lives Matter stunt. Boosie was one of the first to call out Kanye's White Lives Matter stunt, saying it disrespected black folks, and most people agreed. But Charleston White? He flipped the whole script. He jumped online blasting Boosie for even speaking on Kanye, and from that moment, it was war. Charleston didn't just come for Boosie, he went way lower than anyone expected. He dragged Boosie's son, Tootie Raw, and even T.I.'s son, King Harris, into it. He called them ugly, said they couldn't fight, and even claimed they'd end up in jail one day. That's when people realized Charleston wasn't just another loudmouth. He was playing dirty, targeting family just to hit harder. The streets were stunned, waiting for Boosie to snap back like he always does. But shockingly, he didn't. Instead, Boosie stayed calm. In an interview with Tony the Closer, he explained that talking too wild could land him right back behind bars, especially when someone brings kids into it. So he kept his cool, saying he wouldn't let Charleston bait him into something reckless. That moment showed a whole new side of Boosie. Not scared, just smart. He knew Charleston wanted him to explode, but he refused to give him that win. Still, you could feel the tension rising. By early 2023, things got messy again. Charleston was trolling T.I. heavy over that paperwork party. And that's when Boosie's son, Tootie, snapped back, calling Charleston old and messy, even telling him to go die. Charleston being Charleston didn't just take the insult and move on. Nah, he cranked it all the way up. He went live saying, "I hope your daddy dies from that diabetes. I hope they forget to send him insulin 1 month." Who even says something that cold? That wasn't trolling. That was straight venom, aimed at Boosie through his own kid. Then things took a dark turn. Not long after, Tootie got arrested on a gun charge. And the second that news hit, Charleston jumped online bragging like he made it happen. He claimed he called the cops, sent in pictures, and even tipped off the Department of Public Safety. Then he doubled down, accusing Boosie of being a 6-time killer who used kids to do his dirt. Wild stories with zero proof, but Charleston said it loud enough for people to start talking. That's when the beef crossed from internet drama to real-life chaos. Charleston wasn't just talking. He was out to ruin Boosie's whole world. And just when it looked like things couldn't get crazier, 2023 hit hard. Not even 3 months after Charleston dragged his son, Boosie himself got picked up in San Diego, right after a court hearing. Bam! It felt like the system had been waiting for that moment. Charleston wasted no time turning it into a full-blown comedy skit. He hopped on IG Live preaching like a fake pastor, saying it was God's plan, and comparing Boosie to Daniel in the lion's den, like prison was some kind of holy punishment. It was disrespect on a whole new level. Some fans thought Charleston was just trolling, others believed he meant every word. Either way, he turned Boosie's pain into content for clicks. That's his whole hustle, feeding off people's struggles for laughs. By summer, the trolling got so deep, Boosie couldn't stay quiet anymore. He finally broke his silence on Vlad TV, and you could see the frustration all over him. Boosie flat out admitted he didn't even want Vlad interviewing Charleston, especially after what he said about Tootie. But still, Boosie made one thing clear. He wasn't scared of Charleston, he was just focused on staying free. He knew one wrong word could land him right back behind bars. Even while playing it cool, you could tell Charleston was living rent-free in his head. Every time Boosie's name hit the blogs, Charleston was right there too, running his mouth, twisting the story, and keeping himself trending. Then early 2024 hit, and things got wild again. Aiden Ross, one of the biggest streamers out, announced Boosie was coming to his stream. Huge news! Boosie on Twitch with all those eyes watching was supposed to be major, but with Charleston lurking, nothing ever goes smooth. Here's where Charleston's name popped back up again. Boosie decided not to do Aiden Ross's stream because he didn't want to get mixed in with Charleston's drama. But then Aiden flipped the story, hopping online claiming he turned Boosie down out of loyalty to Charleston White. That lie spread fast. Social media went wild, clowning Boosie like he got curved by a streamer, when really, he was just trying to stay clear of chaos. It blew up so bad that DJ Vlad had to step in. Vlad snapped on Aiden, calling it insane to ride for someone like Charleston, a dude who literally praised Hitler and denied the Holocaust. Vlad calling that out showed just how toxic Charleston's influence had become. He wasn't just trolling anymore. He had rappers, streamers, and clout chasers using his name like a golden ticket for attention. Even people who had nothing to do with Boosie were jumping in, trying to ride the Charleston wave for clicks. That's how deep his reach had gotten. But Charleston wasn't done yet. Nah. In March, he popped back online claiming Boosie was warning promoters not to book him. Of course, Charleston spun it into another wild rant, saying Boosie was making threats and that he'd already contacted the feds. Charleston was out here bragging like he had the FBI on speed dial, talking about getting Boosie locked up again and calling them his personal bodyguards. Then he took it lower, dragging Boosie's health into it, cracking jokes about his diabetes like it was funny. That's Charleston's style. Hit below the belt, keep it cruel, and make it all about him. But this wasn't just online noise. Boosie admitted he was getting calls from people already behind bars asking when he'd be joining them. Imagine sitting at home, dealing with a federal case, and dudes in prison calling like they got a bunk waiting for you. That's pure psychological warfare, and Charleston knew exactly what he was doing. It wasn't about trolling anymore. It was about breaking Boosie mentally, making him feel trapped before he even saw a cell. People online even started whispering that Boosie didn't want to fight this case anymore. He just wanted it over with. And honestly, who could blame him? Just picture Charleston showing up in court. You already know he'd turn that place into a full-on circus, pointing fingers, cracking jokes at the jury, then walking outside to go live about it. That's the kind of chaos Boosie's been up against, and this time, it's eating at him heavy. Charleston was online bragging, saying, "I helped put Boosie away." And honestly, that's not even a reach. That's his whole playbook, calling cops, setting people up, and bragging about it like it's a flex. He even admits to testifying back when he was just 14. That story always comes back to haunt him. When he was a kid, he got caught up in a robbery where another teen shot a man named Michael Levy. Instead of keeping quiet, Charleston testified against his co-defendant Antoine Doolittle. In street culture, that's the ultimate betrayal, being labeled a snitch. Even though he was a minor, folks never let it go. But Charleston doesn't run from it. He owns it. He says, "I was young, I told the truth." That's not snitching, that's survival. Recently, old footage from that juvenile case resurfaced and the internet exploded again, calling him a hypocrite. People were like, how can you clown rappers for being rats when you testified yourself? But Charleston doubled down, saying he never lived by the street code and doesn't care who's mad. That's what makes Charleston dangerous. He's untouchable in his own twisted way. He'll call others rats while waving his own paperwork like a trophy. That contradiction keeps people watching, even when they can't stand him. So when you mix Boosie's plea deal, his worn-out energy, and Charleston's nonstop circus, it paints a picture of a man trapped in chaos he didn't start, but can't escape. It's no surprise Boosie wanted to skip the trial and just take the plea. The last thing he needed was Charleston turning that courtroom into a circus act. Boosie wasn't running from justice. He was running from the chaos Charleston would bring with him. That's what makes this beef so much deeper than trolling. It's personal, it's messy, and it's draining Boosie's peace. Right now, Boosie's life feels like it's hanging by a thread while Charleston treats it like front-row entertainment. The second word got out that Boosie was taking a plea, Charleston was back online louder than ever. To him, this wasn't just another rapper getting caught slipping, it was karma. He went live bragging that everything he'd been saying for years was finally coming true. All the trolling, all the taunting. He saw Boosie's downfall as proof he was right all along. Charleston acted like the streets handed him a trophy, celebrating Boosie's pain like it was a win. He even said he'd been waiting for this moment, as if he'd been praying to see Boosie locked up again. At this point, it's clear this beef ain't about clout, it's personal. Charleston's been locked on Boosie since 2022, and every time something bad happens, he pops up to throw more salt on the wound. From clowning Tootie's arrest to mocking Boosie's health and even bragging about calling the feds, he just won't quit. It's like he won't be satisfied until Boosie's completely out the picture. But not everybody's laughing with Charleston. The streets are split. Some say Boosie brought it on himself, that after years of dodging cases and wild behavior, this was bound to catch up. They think Charleston's just saying what others won't. Then there's the other side, Boosie's loyal fans, who see him as a survivor that's been through it all and still keeps going. To them, Charleston isn't exposing truth. He's obsessed, trying to tear another black man down. And that's the debate lighting up barbershops, podcasts, and comment sections right now. One thing's certain, if Charleston's this loud while Boosie's still free, imagine the circus if the judge actually hits him with that 10-year sentence. Charleston will treat it like his own victory parade. Charleston's ready to celebrate like he just won a championship. You already know he'll be live on every platform, shouting, popping bottles, and clowning Boosie's name. That's how far he'll go to rub it in. Charleston feeds off other people's pain. The more the world reacts, the louder he gets. Meanwhile, Boosie's trying to lean on faith, but you can see the exhaustion in his words. His posts about trusting God don't sound like the same confident Boosie fans grew up watching. They sound like a man bracing for the storm. Between the feds, Charleston's nonstop taunting, and the internet split between mocking and praying for him, peace feels impossible. This beef isn't about music or money, it's about humiliation. Charleston made it his mission to embarrass Boosie at every turn, acting like the king of chaos while Boosie's career hangs in the balance. But here's the twist, if Boosie really does get locked up, that could flip the whole script. Jail has revived careers before, and if he comes back stronger, Charleston's celebration won't age well. Right now, it's a waiting game. The plea deal's on the table, the streets are buzzing, and the world's watching. So what do you think? Will Boosie rise again, or will Charleston get the last laugh? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.